Hello and welcome back to Conversations in the Community. I'm your host, Dania Parker-Smith with parkbench.com, South London, Wortley, and I'm also a realtor here with New Vista Premier Realty and Team Forrester. I'm going to be hearing today from Bette Creek. She's with the restaurant Chopped Leaf on Wellington Road here in South London. So Chopped Leaf has chef-designed dishes that are kid-friendly, gluten-friendly, vegan-friendly, dairy-free, and nut-free. So they are able to provide a safe experience for so many different types of people and diets. So welcome today, Bette.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh, it's so good to have you here. And I don't know if you can just scroll the sign over a bit so we can get a whole picture. There you go. That sign is the sign they have in the Chopped Leaf restaurant if you have not been to their location yet. So how great. I just want to make sure people could see that. So Chopped Leaf is fairly new to London area, correct?
Yes, so we opened up in the middle of the pandemic. I mean, what better time to open up a healthy fast food restaurant, right? So we opened up in September 2020.
Okay.
And of course, it was not ideal, but it's been well received, I have to admit. Yeah.
Yeah. And tell me, how did you come to open this this franchise of the restaurant?
So about, I would say about 2-3 years ago, I decided after being a stay-at-home mom for 12 to 14 years, I wanted to return back to the workforce. And my experience is in the investment financial industry. I worked for mutual funds in the marketing capacity and hedge fund companies and stuff all over Toronto. And so when we moved to London 15, 16 years ago now, I decided to stay home with my 3 young kids. And when I decided to go back to work 3 years ago, I knew I wanted to do something different. I didn't want to go back to the rat race of Toronto, really. That's what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. And I started thinking I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to run my own day and take charge of my life is basically what I wanted to do. And so I actually Googled that, and I wanted to know what are the kind of restaurants that feel good after you eat. And the Chopped Leaf came up, and that's all it is. That I Googled that, and it came up on an internet search, and I went, what's that all about? So I actually went to my husband and I said, hey, why don't we open a salad restaurant? And of course, I got the, what? Salads? Like, what? I said, seriously, let's go check it out. So we went to the closest one to here, which is Kitchener. And we tried it out. We absolutely loved it. And then we started the process. So we started just researching what franchises are all about, what this particular franchise is about, and we went for it. And so this would have been, we signed on the dotted line September of 2019. Okay. So 1 full year before we opened. And everything was going great. We came across this spot about 3-4 months later, and it became available. And I thought, oh, that's a great spot. You know, it's so busy. It's got chapters. It's got Farm Boy. It's got, all the good things there. And we went for it. And so this takes us to March of 2020. And I signed the lease on this place. And then like 4 days later,
the world changed.
And I went, that's interesting. What's that all about? And I don't think it actually had hit me at that point that how serious it was. I know there was, I try not to watch the news, or I tried not to watch the news back then because it's always negative stuff. So I tried to stay away from the news, and then I started paying attention, and I'm like, there's a lot of people dying in Italy and Spain.
Right. That was
what
awful.
is going on? Yeah. And so that's when I finally, I think it was about 2 weeks later, into April, that I kind of went, this is pretty severe and it's not going away. And I started questioning all of my decisions as far as opening up a franchise in the middle of the pandemic. But we decided to go ahead with it, just go for it. And here we are. So we opened up a year after, almost a year to the date after we signed the franchises.
Who knew that the world was going to be so different, right?
Yeah, not me, that's for sure. I mean, Yeah.
So Bet, I just want to explain to our viewers that you are actually sitting in your dining room. So you might be hearing other people now that she's allowed to have patrons in the restaurant. So we are happy to hear those patrons. We don't want to dissuade from that. But I wanted to clarify, you said you Googled what's behind you. Is that your own piece of what you've added to the restaurant, or was that actually something that Chopped Leaf stands behind and has already promoted?
So that is the Chopped Leaf tagline. And when I decided that I wanted to open up, I wanted a restaurant, and I just didn't know what kind of restaurant. And basically I Googled what kind of restaurants do you feel good after you eat? Because I find that anytime I eat out, I never, like, unless it's a nice sit down restaurant, rarely do I feel good after I eat. A couple hours later, my stomach starts getting upset and whatever. I'm not 20 anymore, going to bars and eating the French fries and the hot dogs afterwards. So,
what has been the most popular item on your menu since you started?
The number one ordered item is called the Bangkok salad. And it's got an Asian flavor to it, and the evil peanut dressing is just to die for. Everybody, they actually want to buy the bag here. They want to buy boxes of it from me, and unfortunately, I can't sell it because then I'll be out of business.
Right.
But
they'll go make it at home.
Yeah, exactly. But it's the most requested one. As soon as they come in, they're like, "Tell me your number one salad," and I'll be like, "The Bangkok, that's the one." And it gets ordered every time, and they come back every single time and get it. So
awesome. So I guess you kind of explained a little bit of stuff, but what do you think sets Chopped Leaf apart from other similar restaurants in our city?
Well, I did do, obviously, I went into different restaurants that were similar, offering similar options, and I tried their products. Some of them I hadn't gone into before. And I like the portion size. I feel like our portions are bigger for our value of the dollar, the price point. I feel like we have a bigger portion size. Our ingredients are all freshly chopped every day. So, they're not coming from bags.
Right. With chemicals and stuff. Yeah.
Yes, everything's 100% fresh. Our dressings are all proprietary, so they're all different from anything else. You can't go to anywhere and pick up our dressings on the store shelf anywhere. So,
and how do people find your restaurant, and how can they order from your restaurant?
We have several options, so you can walk in and order. And as of right now, we can accommodate about 10 people to eat in, which is so great. Love that. You can also go online to choppedleaf.ca and order through there. Around Christmas time, we had people ordering a week in advance to make sure that we would get their meal ready. So I had like a stack of orders to prepare for Christmas Eve is going in. For Christmas Eve, people didn't want to cook. They knew they were going to be stuck by themselves. So a lot of people ordered in for Christmas Eve. And so we had they ordered a week in advance. And you can also go on some of the third-party apps. We also are on Skip. Those three options. Or you can phone us, give us a call, and we can prepare your order exactly where you want it and for the time that you want to pick up it.
Perfect. And we will have all the contact information, website, phone numbers for you in the business profile and the interview on the website for us. Okay.
Perfect.
Awesome. And so when we move from the red zone to the orange zone, you mentioned that there's 10 people out in the restaurant now. How is it going to change when we get to be a little less restricted once again? And what does that look like for patrons when they enter your premises?
So our restaurant was, because we opened up in September of 2020 and smack dab in the middle of the pandemic, we already set it up that is socially distanced, that all the tables are already 6 feet apart sort of thing. So everything's already set up for social distance. We can have up to 20 people. In the orange zone, we can have 50 people. So, but obviously we don't have the spot for here. Hopefully that'll take us into a patio season, and we do have a small patio up front that can house about probably 12 people out there. I mean, we're still about a month or two away from that, and we don't have a heater outside for right now. But there are tables outside, and we do clean our tables. We're right on it. As soon as we see somebody leave the restaurant, we're on there cleaning, disinfecting, and making sure that everything's clean for everybody.
Mm-hmm. So the type of restaurant you have, and I know people just talking about being out on a patio, do you serve liquor, and do you have your licenses to serve liquor, or is that just something that you just don't go there?
No, we don't have a license, much to my husband's chagrin. I think he's tried to convince me of that a few times. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We don't. We are mostly a lunch place. We get a lot of people walking in for lunch or a quick grab for dinner on the way home from work. We do a lot of catering, even during the pandemic, with people, still trying to socially distance. People would be ordering and leaving in a lunchroom, and then people going in and grabbing their food. So that's been a big part of our business.
Yeah. So we all hear about those crazy, not people, but crazy things that people ask for when they want substitutions and how particular they are about certain things. What's like been the oddest thing that you've had, or the most memorable one?
The one that sticks in my mind was somebody that came in, and he was with another person that was wearing her her job uniform. So I could tell where she was coming from. And he asked for one of our bowls. And then we punched in the bowl, and he says, yes, but I don't want any lettuce. I don't want any greens. I don't want any of the choppings. I just want rice, chicken, and ketchup. And then can you please put it in a wrap? So that's what he got. He got, and hot sauce. He added some hot sauce to that as well. So rice, ketchup, hot sauce, and chicken. And I'm like, I don't want to serve you this. He goes, that's what I want. And I'm like, okay. So,
I've heard people do ask some odd things, right? And what do you love about the old South London area?
I love the history. Honestly, I love going down to Wortley Village and just walking around, back when everything was open, obviously. And I love the architecture and all the old homes there. I've always wanted to live out there, and who knows, maybe one day I will. It's just a beautiful little town, and the closeness and everything there is just beautiful.
I love the community. There. Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing more about Chopped Leaf with us. I hope that it intrigues people to come on down and grab a salad and get some good, healthy food that makes you feel good after you eat. So want to make sure that they understand that. So thank you so much. And I'm Dania Parker-Smith, once again, from parkbench.com, South London, Wortley, and also being a realtor here in London provides me the opportunity to help other people in the community with their real estate needs. So if you do need help with that, happy to chat with you. And I wanted to let you know that the webpage, the Parkbench webpage, is a page where everybody can access news and events and businesses all for free. It is a place where everybody can come and look up businesses and find out more about the local businesses that we have in our community and the faces behind them. So thank you so much, and stay tuned for another episode coming up next week. So stay safe and be blessed.